how to install a .NET Agent 591. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate to a Foglight admin how to install the Foglight for .NET 591 by uploading the .car file downloaded from the support website. We will then proceed to demonstrate how to install the .NET Agent 591. We will also give a brief intro to the Nexus cartridge integration within the .NET Agent. The .NET 591 requires Foglight 567 and Foglight 567-2. This cartridge is designed for new installations only. The .NET 591 is incompatible with all current versions of Foglight for Java EE and Foglight for JMX. Also, it requires .NET Framework 4.0 or later. In this release, we have brand new collector agents. There are two types of .NET agents: the transactions agent, which collects request information via instrumentation and sends data through the Nexus. The second agent is the counters agent, which collects metrics via WMI and sends data through the Foglight. We also have new administrative dashboards and monitoring dashboards. The Application Server Administration Dashboard is to create .NET agents. The .NET Administration Dashboard is to create and manage agent configurations. And the Nexus Administration Dashboard is to create and manage Nexus. Also note that the Nexus is now a Foglight agent and no longer runs in the same JVM as the Foglight server. We will now proceed with the installation. For the purpose of this video, we will assume you already have FMS 567 and you've installed and activated a compatible version of the Foglight Agent Manager on your .NET monitored host and your Nexus host. Open your FMS console via web browser and log in with your appropriate credentials. Click on Administration, Cartridges, Cartridge Inventory, Install Cartridge, and browse to the .NET cartridge file on your local machine. Select Install Cartridge. Hit OK when complete. Once the cartridge is successfully installed and enabled, you'll notice there are three cartridges actually installed: Application Server .NET, Application Server Common, and Application Server Nexus. After refreshing your browser, you'll notice the Application Server Administration Dashboard. Our next step would be to install a Nexus agent that our .NET Transactions agent will send data to. Click on Application Server Administration, Nexus Administration, and create Nexus. Here you can select which host to deploy the Nexus agent to. For the purpose of this video, I'll pick up the embedded Foglight on the FMS. Hit Next. Specify the Nexus port and listen address. I'll be using the default port 41705. Hit Next. On this wizard, you can select the recording settings to use for the Nexus. I'll use the default settings. Hit Next. Here you can review the configuration and pick a name for your Nexus. Hit Finish. And this procedure will create and deploy the Nexus on the embedded Foglight. You'll notice the new Nexus agent that we just created on the Nexus Administration Dashboard. Click on the Nexus agent name and select Activate. Notice the task history screen at the bottom with the result success. Hit refresh and notice the health status changed to green. This implies our Nexus has been successfully installed. The next step is to install the .NET agent. Go to Application Server Administration dashboard, click on Setup Agents, select .NET in the pop-up. The first selection here is the transaction and performance counters, which is required for our normal installations. This option will set up agents to monitor transactions, performance counters, and application availability. This option will also install the agent on the monitored host, whereas the second option, performance counters only, is mainly for remote monitoring of IIS. This option will not collect transaction data. Click Next. Select one or more hosts for which you would like to install and integrate the .NET agent. Select Next. Leave blank for automatic grouping based on Windows domain or workgroup. You can override how .NET agents are grouped by entering a value. All hosts set up in this process will be grouped together. I will leave it blank. Click Next. This wizard is used for configuration of performance counters. For new installations, default is likely sufficient. This configuration is to use for transactions. For new installations, default is sufficient. Click Next. This wizard will allow you to choose the Nexus agent that the transactions agent will communicate to. Click New Nexus Connection, Add Nexus Location, and select the Nexus that you previously installed. We will save the connection as local. Hit Save. Click Next. In this wizard, you can customize the installation directory on the monitored host. By default, it is the directory you see at the bottom of this wizard. Leave empty to use the default. Click Next. Review the settings. The checkbox at the bottom is important. What will happen is this is going to install the counters agent, which takes the responsibility for installation and integration of the transaction agent with IIS. Even after installation, the IIS server needs to be restarted to integrate with transactions agent. Once you click Finish, the installation happens asynchronously and you will see a task manager at the bottom. The result column will show success, meaning installation has completed. Hit refresh to confirm the .NET Counters agent are showing up under Application Server Administration with a status green. This requires an IIS restart to complete integration of the transactions agent. Please note that IIS restart through IIS Manager will not pick up the new environment variables. Therefore, we have to log in to the monitored host and issue an IIS reset. Here I've logged into my monitored host, open up a command line, and going to issue an IIS reset. After I've issued an IIS reset, I'm going to initiate a few requests on my .NET application. Go back to your Application Server Administration dashboard and you'll notice a new transaction agent shows up for each app pool. You'll notice the Nexus column being populated for the transaction agent, while it is blank for the counters agent, as the counters agent reports data through Foglight. Now you could navigate to the application server's monitor dashboard to see all the corresponding data. This concludes the installation of the .NET Agent.